Welcome to 1 Hour to Win Every Day, a gentle, calming journey designed to help you find peace, build resilience, and nurture your heart, one small, intentional hour at a time. This audiobook invites you to slow down, reflect, and embrace simple, powerful habits that quietly transform your life. Whether you're seeking comfort after a hard day or guidance to cultivate lasting calm and confidence, these chapters will be your tender companions. So find a cozy space, settle in, and let's begin this beautiful journey together, one peaceful hour, one gentle step, one day at a time. Chapter 1: Why Your Mindset Determines Everything. Take a deep breath right now. Hold it. And let it out slowly. Because in this very moment, you're about to unlock something extraordinary. Not from the outside world, but from within your own mind. Pause for a second and think about this truth. Backhand index pointing right, your mindset is the master key. It's not just important, it determines everything. It decides how you wake up, how you fight through the day, how you handle problems, and how high you're willing to reach. People love to talk about luck, timing, or talent. But the game is almost always won inside your head long before it's ever won in the world. Imagine two people facing the same challenge. One says, "This is too hard. I can't do it. What if I fail?" The other says, "This is tough, but I'm tougher. What if I fly?" Who do you think is going to win? Who's going to keep going when it gets ugly? Who's going to find a way when everyone else gives up? That's right. The one with the mindset wired for success. Your thoughts are not just whispers in your head, they are commands to your life. If you constantly think in limits, you'll live a limited life. But if you train your mind to see possibilities, to expect greatness, to chase growth, then your reality will start to shift. And it's not magic. It's not hype. It's the simple, powerful truth of how the human brain works. What you focus on grows. What you tell yourself, you start to believe. What you believe, you start to act on. And what you consistently act on becomes your destiny. So right now, decide this with me. Say it out loud, I am the architect of my mindset. Say it again, I choose thoughts that build me, not break me. Because that choice? It's the real difference between a life of quiet frustration and a life that's full of winning days. As we go deeper into this audiobook, you're going to discover how to shape your thoughts, train your focus, and build a mental fortress so strong that life's storms can't shake it. Remember, seedling it all begins here. Inside your mind. Train it, and you can win every single day. Chapter 2: The Power of Small Wins Daily. Take a moment and picture this. A sculptor stands in front of a giant block of marble. Day after day, he chips away, tiny pieces at a time. From the outside, it seems almost pointless. How can these small taps of the hammer possibly turn into anything remarkable? But then weeks pass. Months pass. And finally, standing there in all its glory, is a breathtaking statue. Something timeless. Something that stirs souls. This is exactly how success works. It's built on small, seemingly ordinary wins stacked up day after day. We live in a world obsessed with instant results. Viral success. Overnight transformations. But the truth? The real power lies in what you do daily, not what you do occasionally. Think about water dripping on a rock. One drop means nothing. 1,000 drops might still leave no mark. But after 10,000? 100,000? The rock is forever changed, carved by gentle persistence. Now, let's bring it back to you. Your dreams, your goals, your life. The truth is, massive success is almost never the result of one giant leap. It's the cumulative impact of small choices, tiny disciplines, little victories that compound over time. It's waking up 30 minutes earlier to work on your side hustle. It's choosing a 20-minute walk instead of scrolling aimlessly on your phone. It's reading 10 pages of a life-changing book instead of binge-watching another episode. It's saying no to junk food today. It's telling yourself, "I've got this," when self-doubt starts whispering. Tiny choices. Tiny wins. But stack them up, and suddenly you're not the same person you were a year ago. There's a brilliant quote by Darren Hardy from his book The Compound Effect. He says, "Small, smart choices plus consistency plus time equals radical difference." It's so simple, yet so powerful. Most people underestimate what they can achieve over years of consistent small actions. They chase big overnight wins, get frustrated when it doesn't happen, and give up. But not you. Because you're learning to fall in love with the process, not just the prize. Imagine two people who both want to get healthier. Person A tries a crash diet. Goes hard for 2 weeks, drops some weight, but then burns out and quits. Person B decides to cut out soda and take a 30-minute walk every evening. 3 months later, Person A is right back where they started, maybe even worse. But Person B? They've lost weight steadily, they feel better, and those small habits have become part of their lifestyle. That's the secret of small wins. They don't just change your results. They change who you become. They build self-respect. They give you momentum. Every tiny victory sends a message to your brain. I keep my promises. I do hard things. I'm moving forward. And this compounds in ways you can't even imagine. So I want to give you a simple challenge. Today, before you go to sleep, do one small thing that moves you closer to your goals. Just one. It could be writing down 3 ideas for your business. It could be planning tomorrow's workout. It could be meditating for 5 minutes to clear your mind. It might seem insignificant. But do it anyway. Because each small action is like laying a single brick. Keep laying them, day after day, and eventually, you've built a fortress. Remember this mantra and say it with me now. Small wins daily. Big victories eventually. Again louder, like you mean it. Small wins daily. Big victories eventually. That's how you train your mind and build your life. One choice. One step. One tiny win at a time. In the next chapter, we're going to take this even deeper by learning how to visualize your success so clearly that it feels inevitable. Because when your mind sees it, your actions start chasing it. So keep moving forward. Your small wins today are the seeds of the incredible life waiting for you tomorrow. Chapter 3, Visualize, see it before you live it. Close your eyes for a moment. Yes, even if you're listening on a walk or lying in bed, just pause and gently close your eyes. Now, picture your biggest dream coming true. Maybe it's standing on a stage, light shining on you, with thousands cheering your name. Maybe it's seeing your name on a book cover. Maybe it's opening the doors of your own business for the first time, or holding the keys to a home you bought with your hard work. Maybe it's simply waking up each morning with peace, gratitude, energy, and knowing you're living life fully on your terms. Hold that picture. Make it bright. Make it bold. Make it almost blinding in detail. Now, here's the truth most people never realize. Your brain cannot tell the difference between something you vividly imagine and something that actually happens. It lights up the same way. Neurons fire. Hormones release. New pathways form. That means when you visualize your success with full color, sound, feeling, and emotion, your mind starts to believe it's real. And once your mind believes, your actions start to follow. Think of elite athletes. Olympic runners, championship boxers, world-class gymnasts. They don't just practice on the track or in the ring. They also practice in their minds. They see themselves crossing the finish line, arms stretched in victory. They hear the crowd erupt. They feel their muscles tighten and release. They smell the sweat, taste the adrenaline. So when the actual moment comes, it's like déjà vu. Their brain's been there 1,000 times already. So it simply says, we know how to do this. Let's go. Visualization is not fluffy daydreaming. It's one of the most powerful success technologies ever discovered. Top entrepreneurs use it. Artists use it. Surgeons even rehearse complex surgeries in their minds before ever touching a scalpel. But here's the catch most people miss. Visualization only truly works when you do it with full sensory detail and deep emotion. It's not just saying, "I want to be rich," or "I want to be happy." It's closing your eyes and living it like it's happening right now. Let's try it together. Take another slow breath in and out. Now imagine it's exactly 3 years from today. Your dream life. Where are you? Who's with you? What do you see when you look around? Is it sunlight pouring through tall windows of your new home? Is it the ocean breeze whipping through your hair on a balcony you paid for in cash? Is it the quiet pride of your parents seeing what you've accomplished? What does it smell like? Coffee in your kitchen? New leather in your car? Salt in the sea air? What does it sound like? The laughter of your kids? The applause after your speech? The satisfying click of a door locking on the house you own? And most important, what does it feel like in your chest? Warmth? A gentle hum of satisfaction? An electric surge of victory? Hold it there. Really feel it. Because every second you do, you're programming your mind to believe this is your destiny. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Visualization also prepares you for the tough parts. It's not just about seeing yourself on the podium, it's about mentally rehearsing how you'll stay calm under pressure, how you'll push through fatigue, how you'll adapt when problems come. Because they will come. And the more you've prepared your mind, the more automatic your greatness becomes. Let me give you a quick story. Arnold Schwarzenegger, long before he became a global icon, used to spend hours every day visualizing his goals. When he was a poor kid in Austria, he didn't just dream of moving to America. He saw himself living there, driving fancy cars, acting in movies, shaking hands with presidents. He once said, "I saw myself so clearly living that life that it didn't even feel like a dream. It felt like a memory of the future." That's the power of visualization done right. So how can you do this every day? Make it a ritual. Spend 5 to 10 minutes each morning, right after waking up, sitting quietly and playing a mental movie of your success. The more detailed, the better. Use all your senses. Don't just see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, feel it. Imagine your heartbeat, your breath, the textures under your fingertips. Include emotion. Let yourself feel the pride, the joy, the freedom. Emotion is the glue that makes these images stick in your brain. Rehearse overcoming obstacles. See yourself calm, resourceful, strong in the face of setbacks. Because here's the magic. When life throws you a challenge, your brain will say, "I've been here before. I know how this story goes. I keep moving forward. I don't quit." Visualization is like building a mental gym. Every rep makes your mind stronger. And soon, your reality starts catching up to what you've been rehearsing. So promise yourself this. From today on, you won't leave your dreams up to chance. You'll train your mind daily to see them so vividly that reality has no choice but to catch up. Say it with me now. I see my future so clearly, it's only a matter of time before I live it. Again, louder, with conviction. I see my future so clearly, it's only a matter of time before I live it. In our next chapter, we're going to dig deep into discipline, the bridge that takes your beautiful visions and turns them into solid, undeniable reality. So keep this vision alive. Keep it bright. Because if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. Chapter 4, Discipline, the bridge from goals to success. I want you to imagine something for a second. Picture 2 islands in the middle of a vast blue ocean. One is where you're standing now, your current life, your current habits, your current comfort zone. The other is your dream island, the life you want, the body you want, the income you want, the joy, the freedom. Now between these 2 islands, there is no magic teleport. There is only one bridge. That bridge is called discipline. Discipline is the difference between wanting something and getting it. It's the gap closer. It's what takes your goals off the vision board and plants them firmly into your reality. Without discipline, dreams die as wishes. They float off into the sky, pretty to look at, but never landing. With discipline, dreams become blueprints. Blueprints become buildings. Buildings become empires. Most people misunderstand discipline. They think it's punishment. They think it's a harsh drill sergeant screaming in your ear, forcing you to live a boring, rigid life. But discipline is actually the highest form of self-love. It's saying, I care about my future so much that I'll do what's hard now so life becomes easier later. Picture a tree. When it's young and the storms come, it bends, sometimes dangerously close to breaking. But every time it weathers a storm, its roots dig deeper. It grows stronger. More unshakable. That's what discipline does for you. Every time you resist the urge to quit, every time you show up when it's inconvenient, every time you keep your promise to yourself, your roots go deeper. You become that unshakable person others look at and wonder, how do they do it? Let me tell you a story about Kobe Bryant. Even after he was one of the most famous athletes on the planet, with multiple championships and hundreds of millions in the bank, Kobe was known for his 4 a.m. workouts. He'd start practicing hours before anyone else was awake. Why? Because he understood something most people never will. Talent is nothing without discipline. Dreams are nothing without consistent effort. He once said, I have nothing in common with lazy people who blame others for their lack of success. Great things come from hard work and perseverance. No excuses. That's the mindset of a champion. That's the voice of discipline. Now let's bring it to your life. What's your version of 4 a.m.? Maybe it's waking up an hour early to build your side business. Maybe it's staying after work to practice your craft when everyone else goes home to Netflix. Maybe it's choosing a salad when your friends order burgers, because your health matters more than momentary pleasure. It won't always feel good in the moment. Discipline rarely does. But here's a secret that most people never learn. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline is dependable. Motivation is like a spark. It comes and goes, flaring up and then dying out. Discipline is like the engine, it keeps running, even when the road gets rough. If you only show up when you feel like it, your life will be ruled by moods, by cravings, by circumstances. But if you show up regardless, you become unstoppable. Now think about this. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. You're building an identity. You're telling your brain, this is who I am now. I do hard things. I keep promises to myself. I don't quit. And over time, that becomes your natural state. You no longer have to force it because you've wired it into your DNA. Let me give you one more vivid example. Imagine you have a bank account called potential. Every disciplined action is like a deposit. Every time you get up early, every time you finish the workout, every time you choose work over scrolling, you're adding to your balance. One day, there will come a massive opportunity, a deal, a relationship, a breakthrough. And when it arrives, you'll be able to cash in on all those years of steady deposits. While others look broke, you'll be wealthy beyond measure in discipline, focus, and results. So how do you build this superpower? Start small. Pick tiny disciplines and master them. Make your bed every morning. Drink water before coffee. Read 5 pages a day. Prove to yourself you can keep small promises and then scale up. Remove choice. Don't wait to feel like it. Set non-negotiables. I run on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, no matter what. I work on my dream project for 30 minutes daily, even if I'm tired. Celebrate effort, not just outcomes. Be proud that you showed up. Because showing up is where winners are made. And finally, here's something powerful to remember. Discipline gives you freedom. Most people think it's the opposite. But undisciplined people are slaves to moods, addictions, chaos. Disciplined people? They own their time, their habits, their future. They walk through life with a quiet, confident power that others envy. So say this with me right now, out loud, even if it feels silly. I am disciplined. I do what needs to be done, even when I don't feel like it. And that's why I will succeed. Say it again, louder. I am disciplined. I do what needs to be done, even when I don't feel like it. And that's why I will succeed. In our next chapter, we'll go even deeper into how to build habits that stick for life, turning discipline from something you force into something you naturally live. Remember this always. Discipline is the bridge from where you are to where you want to be. And every step you take on that bridge brings your dreams closer. Chapter 5: Planting New Seeds in Small Moments. Have you ever noticed how a tiny seed can break through the hardest ground? A small, fragile green shoot, daring enough to reach for the sun, even when surrounded by stones and dust. Life is astonishing that way, it finds a way, even in the most unlikely places. Sometimes, we feel as if our days are nothing but routine. We wake up, we go about our responsibilities, we handle what needs to be done, and then we collapse into bed, often with a sigh more than a smile. The weight of repetition, of unfulfilled hopes, can settle into our bones without us even noticing. It feels as though there's nothing new, nothing growing. But if you look closely, there are always small moments, tiny spaces where something new can take root. You may not see them at first because they rarely announce themselves with fanfare. They whisper rather than shout. But if you pause, breathe, and look gently at your life, you'll begin to notice them. Maybe it's the way the morning light spills across your pillow, inviting you to open your eyes slowly, without hurry. Maybe it's that small laugh you share with someone at the grocery store, over something silly, a reminder that we are all delightfully human. Maybe it's the way your heart softens when you see a child's drawing stuck to a refrigerator door, reminding you that creativity is pure joy, unburdened by judgment. Each of these moments is a seed. And like any seed, it needs just a bit of your attention to grow. You don't have to overhaul your entire life to begin to feel renewed. You don't have to climb a mountain or write a book or change your career overnight. You can simply begin by noticing. Today, as you go about your hours, try to become a gentle observer of your own life. Where does your spirit feel a little lighter? When does your breath deepen, even for a heartbeat? What small thing brings a tiny spark of gratitude? Maybe it's your first sip of tea, warm and earthy on your tongue. Maybe it's the scent of rain on dry pavement. Maybe it's simply the comfort of your own bed, holding your weight without question, every single night. These small things matter more than we often realize. They stitch the fabric of our days into something that holds us. They remind us that even amid life's heavier burdens, lightness exists. It's there for you to reach out and touch. Now, imagine you are a gardener of your own moments. Each time you notice something that feels gentle, kind, or quietly joyful, you are planting a seed. You don't have to do anything extraordinary. Just notice. Acknowledge it. Whisper a small thank you, even if only inside your heart. Over time, these seeds will grow roots. They will begin to crowd out some of the harsher weeds, those thoughts of inadequacy, of regret, of comparing yourself to others. As your garden grows, you may discover new colors, textures, and fragrances in your daily life that you never saw before. And if you feel stuck, if you feel as though you've been trying for so long and nothing seems to change, let this idea comfort you. Seeds spend a long time underground before they break the surface. You may be nurturing something within yourself right now that has not yet shown itself. But that doesn't mean it isn't there, growing silently, preparing for its moment. Sometimes, all that's required is patience. And a willingness to continue watering your small joys, even when results aren't visible. Trust that, beneath the surface, something is taking root. Trust that your care is not wasted. Trust that your simple noticing, your humble gratitude, your gentle breath, all of it matters. So tonight, before you close your eyes, take a few moments to recall 3 small things that brought even a flicker of warmth to your day. Don't worry if they seem insignificant. A soft pillow, a kind word, the way your favorite song makes you pause. These are your seeds. Hold them close. Let them remind you that new life is always possible, even in the most ordinary soil. And as you drift off to sleep, imagine your inner garden. Imagine delicate green shoots pushing up toward the sunlight of your heart. See them unfurling, slowly, gracefully, with no rush. This is the quiet work of transformation. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand, it simply grows. Trust that you are growing too, in ways that you cannot yet see. Rest easy. Tomorrow is another day to plant new seeds. Another chance to gently tend to the garden of your life. And you, dear listener, are exactly where you need to be. Chapter 6: The Gentle Art of Letting Go. It's strange, isn't it, how tightly we can hold on to things that no longer serve us? Old fears, past mistakes, stories about ourselves that we've carried for so long they feel like part of our skin. We grip them out of habit, or because we think if we keep them close, we'll somehow stay safe. Even if they weigh us down. But there comes a time when your heart quietly whispers that it's tired. Tired of carrying the heaviness, tired of replaying old scenes, tired of building walls to protect wounds that are already scarred over. This is not weakness, it is wisdom. Your heart knows that growth often begins with release. Letting go is one of life's softest but strongest arts. It is not about throwing things away with violence. It is about opening your hand, slowly, tenderly, and allowing what no longer belongs to drift gently from your grasp. Consider a tree in autumn. It does not panic when its leaves turn gold and then brown. It does not fight to keep them. Instead, it stands with graceful acceptance as they fall away, trusting that bare branches are not the end, but simply a season. The tree knows that letting go makes space for what comes next. We too have seasons. And sometimes, our personal autumn is long overdue. We might be holding on to guilt from years ago, a small, constant ache that surfaces at quiet moments. Or we cling to an image of who we think we're supposed to be, more successful, thinner, stronger, endlessly cheerful. Or we keep old resentments alive because somehow, they have become part of our story, and we fear who we'd be without them. Take a moment, right now, to ask yourself gently, what am I still carrying that I no longer need? You don't have to come up with an answer immediately. Sometimes these truths arrive like shy animals, stepping carefully out of the forest only when they feel safe. Just keep asking, softly, over days and nights, and trust that what needs to come forward will come. When it does, do not judge yourself for having held on so long. Instead, honor your tenderness. Remember that we cling to things because they once felt necessary. They offered comfort or protection at a time when we didn't know another way. Thank these old stories for what they once gave you. Then, imagine opening your hands. Visualize standing by a slow, peaceful river. See yourself holding those old burdens, the regrets, the should-haves, the heavy expectations. Feel their weight for a moment. Then, with a long exhale, place them in the gentle current. Watch as the river carries them away, around a bend, out of sight. Notice how your shoulders feel a little lighter. Letting go is rarely a single act. It is more like a practice. Some days you will find your hands clenched again, holding tight without realizing. That's okay. When you notice, simply open your hands once more. Release again. Be patient with your process. Be endlessly compassionate with yourself. As you grow more comfortable with letting go, you'll start to discover the quiet gifts it brings. Space opens up within you. Space for new dreams, new connections, new ways of seeing yourself. Space for breath and rest. You may even find that forgiveness flows more easily toward others, but most importantly, toward yourself. Forgiveness is one of the sweetest blossoms of letting go. It does not mean excusing hurtful actions or pretending things didn't matter. It means choosing your own peace over bitterness. It means deciding that you deserve lightness more than you deserve to keep replaying old wounds. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, not because the past changes, but because you choose not to let it steal your present. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, invite yourself to set something down. It doesn't have to be everything at once. Maybe just one small weight. A memory that still stings, a standard you hold yourself to that is impossibly high, a voice in your head that tells you you're not enough. Whisper to it, "It's okay. I'm ready to rest now." Imagine placing it on the ground beside your bed. Trust that it will not vanish immediately. These things have roots, but each night you choose to set it down, its grip weakens. And your own roots, the ones that reach deep into calm and self-kindness, grow stronger. Remember, letting go is not losing. It is not defeat. It is an act of immense courage and self-love. It is saying, "I deserve to walk a little lighter. I deserve to breathe a little deeper. I deserve to be here, now, free from the weight of yesterday." As you drift into sleep, picture yourself walking through a field at dawn. The sky is tender with new light. With every step, old burdens slip from your shoulders and dissolve into the morning mist. Feel how your chest rises and falls, no longer pressed down by invisible stones. Notice how easily your feet move across the soft earth. This is you, beginning again. Rest in this softness. Trust that by releasing what no longer serves you, you make room for gentle miracles to enter. Trust that you are never empty, only more open. And that in this openness, life will find you with gifts you could not have imagined while your hands were still full. So breathe out, long and slow. Feel your body sink into the bed that holds you so lovingly. Know that tonight, and every night, you have permission to let go. And in doing so, you are already becoming more of who you were always meant to be. Chapter 7, Returning to Yourself, Over and Over Again. There is something tender about the idea of coming home. Not just to a place, but to yourself. To the quiet core of who you are beneath the noise, beneath the rush of to-do lists and the chatter of self-doubt. Yet so many of us drift far from that center. Life pulls us outward, toward other people's demands, toward society's expectations, toward the endless need to prove ourselves. Sometimes, without realizing it, we start living almost entirely on the surface, rarely sinking back into the deeper waters of our own heart. But here's the beautiful thing, you can return. Over and over again. You can come back to yourself in small, ordinary moments. You don't need a grand retreat in the mountains or a perfectly silent room. You only need a breath, a pause, a gentle turning inward. Try it right now. Feel the air moving in and out of your lungs. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. Let your shoulders drop, even just a fraction. Soften your jaw. Loosen the grip in your hands. This is you, returning. No matter how far you wandered in your thoughts today, no matter how tangled your feelings became, here you are, alive, still capable of beginning again. There is deep power in this act of returning. It's how you start to build a sanctuary within yourself. A place you can visit whenever the world feels too loud or too heavy. A place that belongs entirely to you, unshakable, quiet, and spacious. In that inner sanctuary, you might find your breath slowing, your heart uncoiling. You might notice memories rising, some sweet, some bittersweet. You might also notice how hard you've been on yourself. The endless criticisms, the impossibly high standards, the quiet fear of not being enough. Here is where compassion steps in. Imagine speaking to yourself the way you would to a dear friend who's tired and tender. What would you say? Perhaps something like, "It's all right. You've done enough for today. You are enough, even in your uncertainty. You are loved, even in your messiness. You can offer yourself this grace anytime." That is the miracle of returning. It's never truly closed off to you, no matter how long you've been away. Maybe you worry that it's selfish to turn inward. That you're neglecting your duties or your people if you pause to tend to your own spirit. But consider this, how much more present, patient, and genuinely loving can you be when you are rooted in yourself? How much more stable and kind are you when you're not running on empty? Coming home to yourself is not a withdrawal from life, it is preparation to meet it with more steadiness. It's how you fill your own cup so you have something real to offer others. There are countless doorways back to yourself. A few slow, intentional breaths. A walk beneath trees, feeling the earth solid under your feet. Journaling your scattered thoughts until they make gentle sense. Listening to music that moves you, letting it wash through your chest like a cleansing rain. Sometimes, even small rituals can guide you back. Lighting a candle at night, letting the soft glow remind you to slow down. Sipping a warm drink without distraction, feeling its heat spread through you. Standing at the window and simply watching clouds drift by, unhurried, content to be exactly where they are. And when you return to yourself often enough, you start to recognize the subtle signs of being out of alignment. The tightness in your chest, the edge in your voice, the restless scrolling on your phone at midnight. These are gentle signals, not reasons for shame, but invitations to come back, to pause, to breathe. There is no perfect, permanent state of peace. You will lose your way again and again. That's part of being human. The victory lies not in staying centered all the time, but in noticing when you're not, and lovingly guiding yourself back. Each return is like coming home to a warm room after walking through cold wind. You step inside, close the door behind you, and feel the hush settle around your shoulders. You realize that, despite everything swirling outside, here inside, there is calm. Here inside, there is safety. And so, in your 1 hour today, the hour you claim to win back your life, little by little, let some of that time be dedicated simply to returning. Sit quietly with yourself, without agenda. Ask how you're truly feeling. Offer yourself compassion instead of critique. Remind yourself that you are not behind. You are right on time for your own unfolding. Then, as you step back into the flow of the day, carry that inner hush with you. Let it be an anchor when stress tries to pull you off course. Let it remind you that you are allowed to pause, to recalibrate, to come home again. Tonight, as you drift into sleep, picture yourself wrapped in the softest blanket of understanding. Feel your breath slowing, your body settling into the bed that so kindly holds you. Whisper gently to your own heart, I'm here. I've come back. And I will keep returning, for as long as I need to. Because this is the quiet promise of your life, no matter how far you wander, you always have the power to return. Over and over. 1,000 beginnings, each one softer and more forgiving than the last. And that, dear listener, is one of the greatest ways you win, not by force, not by perfection, but by the simple, courageous act of coming back to yourself, again and again. Chapter 8, Trusting Slow Miracles. So often, we want change to be immediate. We want to plant a seed and see a blossom the very next morning. We want to decide on a new habit, a new mindset, a new way of being, and have it feel natural overnight. When it doesn't, frustration rises. We question ourselves. We wonder if we're simply incapable of transformation. But the truth is, most miracles are slow. They move quietly, beneath the surface of things. Like roots spreading invisibly through the soil long before green shoots ever break through. Like the way a broken heart heals cell by cell, until one day, without quite knowing how, you notice you can breathe without pain. Change doesn't always come with grand fanfare. It's more like a gentle tide, coming in inch by inch. You may not notice how far you've come until you look back and see the shoreline has shifted, almost without your realizing. This is why patience is such a profound act of self-love. Because patience says, I trust in my becoming, even when I cannot yet see it. It says, I believe in small efforts compounded over time. I am willing to wait for slow miracles. Look at your own life. Truly look. Perhaps there are things now so normal to you, small joys, quiet strengths, tender understandings that were once distant dreams. Maybe you used to wake up dreading the day, and now you find a little lightness, a little curiosity. Maybe you once felt lost, and now you know how to soothe yourself, how to return home to your heart. None of that happened all at once. It was a slow gathering. 1,000 moments, layered one upon the other, like soft threads weaving a new fabric. So today, give yourself credit for the ways you've already grown. For every gentle decision to pause instead of react. For each time you chose kindness over harshness, rest over relentless striving, presence over distraction. These small acts are the building blocks of a life remade. And if you are still in a tender, uncertain place, still waiting for your miracle, let this thought be a balm. The most beautiful things in life often take time to unfold. The seasons turn in their own rhythm. A flower does not force itself to bloom. The sun rises slowly, brushing the world with light inch by inch. You, too, are allowed to grow at your own pace. Imagine standing in a garden at dawn. The dew is heavy on the grass. The air is cool and smells faintly of earth and green things. All around you, plants are slowly unfurling, petal by petal, leaf by leaf. You don't shout at them to hurry. You simply watch, marveling at their quiet persistence. This is how you can hold yourself. With the same gentle wonder. Trusting that beneath the surface, you are cultivating new patterns, new hopes, new depths of resilience. Even if you cannot yet see them, they are there, stretching toward the sun. Chapter 8: Trusting Slow Miracles. So often, we want change to be immediate. We want to plant a seed and see a blossom the very next morning. We want to decide on a new habit, a new mindset, a new way of being, and have it feel natural overnight. When it doesn't, frustration rises. We question ourselves. We wonder if we're simply incapable of transformation. But the truth is, most miracles are slow. They move quietly, beneath the surface of things. Like roots spreading invisibly through the soil long before green shoots ever break through. Like the way a broken heart heals cell by cell, until one day, without quite knowing how, you notice you can breathe without pain. Change doesn't always come with grand fanfare. It's more like a gentle tide, coming in inch by inch. You may not notice how far you've come until you look back and see the shoreline has shifted, almost without your realizing. This is why patience is such a profound act of self-love. Because patience says, I trust in my becoming, even when I cannot yet see it. It says, I believe in small efforts compounded over time. I am willing to wait for slow miracles. Look at your own life. Truly look. Perhaps there are things now so normal to you, small joys, quiet strengths, tender understandings that were once distant dreams. Maybe you used to wake up dreading the day, and now you find a little lightness, a little curiosity. Maybe you once felt lost, and now you know how to soothe yourself, how to return home to your heart. None of that happened all at once. It was a slow gathering. 1,000 moments, layered one upon the other, like soft threads weaving a new fabric. So today, give yourself credit for the ways you've already grown. For every gentle decision to pause instead of react. For each time you chose kindness over harshness, rest over relentless striving, presence over distraction. These small acts are the building blocks of a life remade. And if you are still in a tender, uncertain place, still waiting for your miracle, let this thought be a balm. The most beautiful things in life often take time to unfold. The seasons turn in their own rhythm. A flower does not force itself to bloom. The sun rises slowly, brushing the world with light inch by inch. You, too, are allowed to grow at your own pace. Imagine standing in a garden at dawn. The dew is heavy on the grass. The air is cool and smells faintly of earth and green things. All around you, plants are slowly unfurling, petal by petal, leaf by leaf. You don't shout at them to hurry. You simply watch, marveling at their quiet persistence. This is how you can hold yourself. With the same gentle wonder. Trusting that beneath the surface, you are cultivating new patterns, new hopes, new depths of resilience. Even if you cannot yet see them, they are there, stretching toward the sun. Chapter 9: Finding Joy in the Simple Things. Sometimes we make life so complicated. We chase after grand achievements, exotic experiences, impressive milestones, believing that happiness lives somewhere out there, just beyond the next promotion, the next relationship, the next perfect version of ourselves. But what if joy isn't waiting at the end of a long chase? What if it's already here, quietly nestled in the simplest corners of your life, hoping you'll slow down enough to notice? Imagine a sunbeam stretching across your kitchen table. The soft weight of a blanket across your shoulders. The crisp bite of an apple, sweet and tart all at once. A small smile exchanged with a stranger that somehow feels like a gift. These tiny, fleeting moments often slip by unnoticed, yet they are treasures. Life's simplest pleasures are the ones that root us. They bring us back from our racing thoughts, our endless striving, into the tender presence of now. When you pay attention to them, you begin to see how rich your everyday world truly is. This chapter is an invitation to become a connoisseur of the ordinary. To discover joy not in perfection or spectacle, but in the humble details of your daily life. Try this little experiment tomorrow. As you move through your day, look for one simple thing that makes you feel a little lighter. It might be the way the morning air smells when you step outside, or the warm weight of your coffee cup in your hands. It might be your pet greeting you with uncomplicated love, or the sound of rain against your window. Pause there, just for a heartbeat longer than usual. Let that small joy expand in your chest. Notice how it feels. How it settles you, how it shifts something gentle inside. Then carry on. Don't demand that every moment sparkle. That's not the point. The point is to notice when it does. To let these soft pleasures accumulate like tiny pebbles in your pocket. One by one, they begin to weigh more than your worries. You might discover that simple joys are often quieter than you expect. They don't compete for your attention the way your phone does, or your endless tasks. They wait patiently, whispering, "Look. Here I am. Right in front of you." Sometimes joy hides in the repetition of daily life. The rhythm of chopping vegetables. The scent of clean sheets. The small ceremony of locking up the house at night, knowing you are safe and sheltered. These things might seem unremarkable, but strung together, they create a kind of humble grace. There is also joy to be found in doing things slowly. In stirring a pot of soup without hurry. In folding laundry with tender hands. In brushing your hair as though you were caring for a beloved friend. Slowness invites you to actually feel your life as it happens, instead of rushing past it. And perhaps most importantly, there is joy in gratitude. Not the forced kind, where you scold yourself to be grateful because others have it worse, but the gentle kind, where you simply acknowledge the goodness in front of you. A deep sigh at the end of a long day, knowing you made it through. The laughter that bubbles up unexpectedly. The way your body keeps showing up for you, even when it's tired. Gratitude turns the simplest things into small miracles. It shifts your attention from what is missing to what is quietly, beautifully here. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, see if you can call to mind 3 simple things that brought you even the slightest spark of contentment today. Maybe it was the softness of your pillow. The flavor of your favorite meal. The way someone's message made you feel thought of. Hold these tiny joys in your heart. Let them be enough. Because they are. You don't need to achieve anything extraordinary to have a life filled with meaning. Sometimes, winning your day simply means noticing the good that was already there, waiting patiently for your gaze. And if you can string together many days like this, days where you honor the simple, tender pleasures, you will look back and realize you were building a beautiful life all along. Not by chasing something distant, but by gently gathering the sweetness already within reach. So take a slow breath now. Feel it expand your ribs, then let it go. Trust that tomorrow will bring its own small joys. Trust that you will be there to see them. Because in the end, it's not the grand moments that define us most. It's the gentle way we learn to be present. To find delight in the simple. To meet our own days with a quiet heart, open enough to receive the ordinary miracles of being alive. And that, dear listener, is one of the surest ways to win not just today, but every day. Chapter 10, Becoming Your Own Safe Place. There is something quietly powerful about being able to soothe yourself. About learning, little by little, to become your own sanctuary, a place you can return to when the world feels uncertain or overwhelming. For so long, many of us search outside ourselves for safety. We look to people to tell us we are worthy. We wait for circumstances to be just right before we allow ourselves to breathe easily. We try to control everything around us so we can finally feel secure. But real safety, the kind that steadies your heart even when storms rage around you, begins inside. It is a gentle promise you make to yourself: no matter what happens, I will not abandon me. I will stay. I will hold myself with compassion. I will be my own safe place. Think for a moment about how you treat those you love when they're afraid or hurting. You don't tell them to hurry up and get over it. You don't judge their trembling or dismiss their tears. You sit beside them. You offer softness. You remind them that they are not alone. This is how you can learn to be with yourself. It may not come naturally at first. If you grew up in chaos or with harsh voices around you, the idea of being gentle with yourself might feel foreign. You might still carry an inner critic who says you don't deserve tenderness, who insists that self-compassion is weak or selfish. But slowly, through patient practice, you can teach yourself a new way. You can rewrite those old scripts, one quiet moment at a time. Begin by simply noticing how you speak to yourself when you're struggling. Do you pile on blame? Do you shame yourself for not being stronger, happier, more together? If so, pause. Take a breath. Place a hand over your heart, or rest it gently on your belly. Feel the rise and fall, proof that life moves through you, even now. Then, offer yourself kinder words. Try saying, "It's okay to feel this. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere." You don't have to fix everything in that moment. Often, what we need most is simply to know that we are not facing our fears alone. Another way to become your own safe place is to create small rituals of comfort. Light a candle and watch its soft glow. Wrap yourself in a favorite blanket. Play music that soothes you. Make a cup of tea and sip it slowly, feeling the warmth travel through you. These simple acts are not frivolous. They are signals to your nervous system that you are cared for, that you are tending to your own well-being. Over time, they become anchors, small reminders that even on hard days, there is refuge within your reach. Also, allow yourself to rest. So many of us push and push, believing our worth is tied to constant productivity. But your value was never meant to be measured by your output. You deserve ease simply because you exist. Give yourself permission to step back when you need to. To close your eyes for a few moments in the middle of the day. To take a slow walk with no destination except to feel your feet on the ground. Bit by bit, you build trust with yourself. You show your tender places that they are safe with you. That they will not be mocked or ignored. That they can unfold slowly, like petals opening to the sun. And the more you do this, the more you practice being your own soft landing, the less you'll fear life's inevitable storms. Because you'll know that no matter what comes, you have a haven within. A place where you can retreat, breathe, and be held. Tonight, as you settle into bed, try this simple exercise. Close your eyes and imagine a warm light radiating from the center of your chest. See it expanding, soft and golden, filling your ribcage, then spreading through your shoulders, your arms, your belly. Let it flow down your legs, all the way to your feet, and up through your neck into your head. This is your own light. Your own calm. Your own inner sanctuary. Whisper to yourself, "I am safe here. I am held. I am home." Feel how your breath slows, how your muscles loosen. Trust that in this gentle space you've created, healing happens, not by force, but by quiet allowing. Because this is the heart of your daily hour, it's not just about discipline or achieving goals. It's about giving yourself a refuge, a place to lay down your burdens and simply be. To reconnect with the truth that you are enough, exactly as you are, in this moment. So rest now. Let your own heart be the softest place to land. And know that each time you choose to treat yourself with compassion, you are rewriting old stories, building new pathways, and becoming someone who is not only surviving, but gently, beautifully, learning to thrive. Chapter 11, Honoring Where You Are. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning how to honor exactly where you are, even if it's not where you hope to be. We live in a world that endlessly pushes us forward toward goals, improvements, higher standards. It whispers that now is never enough. That we must always be striving for a better version of ourselves, a shinier life, a future that will finally prove we are worthy. But what if the greatest peace lies not in the chasing, but in the gentle acceptance of this moment? In recognizing that here, exactly as things are right now, is worthy of your tender attention. It does not mean giving up on growth or abandoning your dreams. It simply means learning to stop waging war against your current reality. Because the truth is, fighting where you are only deepens your pain. It creates resistance in your heart, a constant ache that says, "I should be somewhere else by now. I should be someone else by now." Imagine how it would feel to breathe out that tension. To say instead, "This is where I am. And for now, that is okay." Maybe right now you feel tired. Maybe your days are a blur of responsibilities. Maybe your heart carries grief, or your mind spins with worries that keep you awake at night. Or maybe you simply feel flat, unmotivated, unsure. Whatever it is part of your human season. Not every chapter is meant to be bright and bursting with energy. Some chapters are meant to be quieter, softer, even shadowed. These are times when your soul rests, when invisible healing happens deep below the surface. Honoring where you are means treating this current version of yourself with kindness. Even if you're struggling. Especially if you're struggling. It means allowing yourself to move slower if that's what you need. To take breaks without guilt. To feel your feelings without shoving them aside because they're inconvenient. It means placing a gentle hand over your heart and saying, "I see you. I'm here with you. You don't have to be any different right now for me to offer you love." When you stop resisting your reality, you open space for small miracles. You begin to notice quiet joys that were overshadowed by your striving. The warmth of your morning drink. The softness of your pillow at night. The tiny relief of unclenching your jaw. You also begin to feel less alone in your human experience. Because every single person you pass on the street is carrying something: hopes, disappointments, private fears. When you allow yourself to honor your own season, you develop compassion for theirs as well. Tonight, take a moment to reflect on what your life honestly feels like right now. Not what you wish it felt like, not what you think it should feel like, but the tender truth. Is it heavy? Is it light? Is it a mix of both? Let that be okay. Whisper to yourself, "This is where I am. And I honor it." See if you can let go of timelines and comparisons. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are simply living a life that unfolds on its own mysterious schedule. Trust that. Trust that even in this exact place, whether it feels stagnant or confusing or beautifully calm, something is quietly working itself out within you. Because you are always in motion, even when it doesn't look like it. Even when your days feel still, your heart is learning new resilience, your spirit is preparing new depths. Sometimes your becoming is invisible, known only to the quietest parts of you. And if you do wish for change, if you carry a hope for something brighter, know that you can hold both acceptance and desire. You can honor where you are while still tending to the seeds of where you want to go. In fact, true change begins from acceptance. From saying, "This is my starting point, and it is worthy. I can take gentle steps forward from here." So tomorrow, in your 1 hour of reclaiming your day, see if you can simply sit with yourself without judgment. Notice your breath. Notice your body. Notice what feelings rise. And instead of pushing them away or trying to fix them immediately, greet them with soft curiosity. Ask yourself, "What is it like to be me right now?" And listen for the honest answer. This listening is not passive. It is active love. It is how you show yourself that you matter, even in seasons that feel messy or unclear. Then, as night returns, let yourself rest in the trust that you are exactly where you need to be for your own unique journey. Life will continue to unfold. Clarity will come. Energy will return. New chapters will write themselves in time. But for now, let this be enough. Let you be enough. Place a hand on your heart once more. Feel it beating, steady and loyal. Whisper softly, "I honor this moment. I honor this breath. I honor this tender place I am in." And drift into sleep knowing you do not have to earn the right to compassion. It is yours simply because you are here, human and trying, just like the rest of us. That is more than enough. That is quietly, profoundly beautiful. Chapter 12, A Quiet Confidence. There is a kind of confidence that does not shout. It does not swagger into rooms demanding attention. It does not need to prove itself by comparison or conquest. Instead, it moves softly, like a cat padding across sunlit floors. It rests in quiet certainty, unbothered by who notices. This is the confidence you build slowly, gently, through the everyday work of being kind to yourself. It grows not from praise or applause, but from deep within, from the tender truth that you know who you are, and that is enough. Many people think of confidence as something loud. They imagine bright lights, powerful speeches, a life displayed for admiration. But true confidence is often much simpler. It is the steady knowing that you can meet life as it comes. That even when you are uncertain or afraid, you trust yourself to keep going. It's in the way you get up in the morning, even on heavy days. The way you make your bed, or brew your coffee, or tie your shoes. Small rituals that say, I am here. I am still choosing to show up. It's in the way you soothe your own disappointments instead of letting them define you. The way you allow yourself to rest without guilt. The way you say no when something does not honor your peace. This quiet confidence is not arrogant. It does not puff up to hide insecurity. It simply rests in the truth that you belong here. That your worth is intrinsic, not dependent on flawless performance or others' approval. Think for a moment of a tree standing in a field. It does not question whether it has a right to grow. It does not compare its branches to the next tree over. It simply reaches for the sun, drinks from the rain, anchors its roots deeper into the earth. You too can live like this. Grounded in who you are, open to nourishment, unashamed to take up space. Of course, there will still be moments of doubt. There will be days when you question everything, your path, your choices, your place in the world. That's natural. It's human. Confidence is not the absence of vulnerability, it is learning to stand with your vulnerability and still feel worthy. It is saying, I may not have all the answers, but I trust myself to keep learning. It is whispering, I may be afraid, but I will take this step anyway. It is knowing, deep down, even if I stumble, I will not abandon myself. This is why your daily hour matters so much. Every time you pause to care for yourself, to breathe, to reflect, to rest, you are reinforcing the belief that you deserve time, space, and attention. Every time you treat yourself with gentleness, you are building a quiet confidence that does not depend on the outside world. You are telling yourself, again and again, I am worth this effort. I am worth this care. Over time, this changes you. Not in a dramatic, overnight way, but like water shaping stone, slowly, patiently, inevitably. You begin to notice you apologize less for your existence. You begin to hold your head a little higher, not because you think you are better, but because you finally understand you are enough. And then something even more beautiful happens. When you carry this quiet confidence within, you become a refuge not only for yourself, but for others. Your calm presence says to the world, it's safe to be exactly who you are here. People feel it, even if they can't name it. They relax around you. They trust you, because you trust yourself. So tonight, before you drift off to sleep, reflect on all the small ways you have shown up for yourself recently. The moments you chose patience over frustration, rest over relentless striving, honesty over pretending. These may seem minor, but they are not. They are the threads that, woven together, create a life of quiet strength. Place a hand on your chest now. Feel your breath rise and fall. Say softly, I am proud of how far I've come. I am building a gentle, steady confidence. I can trust myself to keep going. And know this, confidence does not mean you will never be shaken. It means that even when life trembles beneath your feet, you believe in your own capacity to steady again. To find your balance. To breathe through it. This is the heart of your hour each day. It is not just time to check off a box. It is sacred time to remind yourself of who you are and who you are becoming. A person who moves through life with more ease. Who knows they are allowed to be imperfect and still worthy. Who trusts their own unfolding, no matter how slow. Rest now. Trust that tomorrow, your quiet confidence will walk with you, hand in hand, through all that comes. And that is more than enough to gently, beautifully, win your day. Chapter 13, The Gentle Power of Consistency. It's easy to believe that big changes require big, dramatic efforts. That you must overhaul your entire life overnight, wake up at dawn full of motivation, transform your habits all at once. And because that's so overwhelming, we often freeze, doing nothing at all, waiting for a perfect day when we'll suddenly be ready. But real change, the kind that lasts, is almost always born from small, steady acts repeated over time. It's less like a lightning strike and more like the slow carving of a river through stone. Quiet, patient, persistent. This is the gentle power of consistency. It doesn't look impressive in the moment. It's not flashy or loud. But over weeks and months, it reshapes you in ways that sudden bursts of effort never could. Think of how nature does its work. Grass grows by millimeters. Trees stretch imperceptibly each day toward the sky. Water wears down mountains one soft wave at a time. There is no rush, no panic, no guilt in their pace. Just steady, faithful progress. You can approach your own life in the same way. Whatever you long for, more peace, more clarity, more self-trust, it grows through quiet, repeated tending. Through your daily hour of choosing yourself. Through your commitment to keep showing up, even on days when your energy is low or your heart feels heavy. Each time you return to this hour, you plant another seed. You say to yourself, I matter enough to keep trying. I'm worth this small, loving effort. And slowly, almost without realizing, those seeds begin to sprout. It might show up as feeling a little calmer in situations that once overwhelmed you. Or catching your inner critic sooner, replacing harshness with gentler thoughts. It might appear in how your body feels, less tense, more rested. Or in how you handle setbacks, with more patience and less despair. None of this is sudden. But that's what makes it so beautiful. Because slow growth tends to last. It becomes part of who you are, woven into the fabric of your everyday life. Consistency also builds trust with yourself. It teaches you that you can rely on your own care. That you don't have to wait for external validation or some magical spark of inspiration. You learn that even on messy days, you can still do one small thing to support your heart. And here's the gentle truth, you don't have to be perfect at it. Consistency does not mean never missing a day, never stumbling. It means coming back again and again. Even if you drift for a while, you return with compassion, not punishment. Imagine how a loving friend would respond if you forgot your promise to yourself for a time. They wouldn't scold you harshly or declare you a failure. They would smile softly and say, "That's okay. Begin again. I'm proud of you for trying." You can be this kind of friend to yourself. You can allow your consistency to be flexible, forgiving, rooted not in harsh discipline but in tender devotion. Tonight, as you prepare to sleep, reflect on the small things you've done lately that reveal your steady care. Maybe you chose to pause and breathe deeply when stress rose up. Maybe you made a healthier meal, or let yourself rest without guilt, or spoke to yourself with more kindness. These may seem insignificant. They are not. They are the quiet proof of your consistency, of your commitment to grow a life that feels softer and truer. As you close your eyes, whisper to yourself, I don't need to be perfect. I only need to keep returning. My small, gentle steps are enough. Feel how that truth settles into your chest. How it eases the tight places inside you. Trust that your slow, loving consistency is creating shifts you may not yet see, but one day, you will look back and realize you've become someone stronger, calmer, more rooted in peace. This is how you win your days, one after another. Not through bursts of force, but through the gentle, quiet power of coming back to yourself, again and again. So rest now. Trust in your own small, faithful efforts. Know that tomorrow, you will rise and keep tending to your tender heart. And over time, this patient devotion will bloom into a life that feels beautifully, unmistakably yours. Chapter 14, Learning to Trust the Unknown. One of the most difficult, yet most necessary, lessons in life is learning how to trust what you cannot yet see. To rest, even slightly, in the unfolding of things beyond your control. Because so much of life is unknowable. We don't get to see the entire map. We don't get a schedule of when joys will arrive or when pain will ease. We stand here with only this small patch of ground beneath our feet, surrounded by vast mysteries. And that can be frightening. Your mind longs for certainty. It wants guarantees that your hopes will come true, that you'll be safe from loss, that all your efforts will pay off exactly as you imagine. But life rarely works that way. It moves in cycles, in seasons, in surprising directions. Sometimes what you fear most never happens. Other times, the very thing you tried so hard to avoid becomes the catalyst for your deepest growth. Learning to trust the unknown does not mean pretending you're never afraid. It means recognizing that fear is natural, but it does not have to be in charge. It means saying to yourself, I may not know what's coming next, but I trust one will find my way through it. Think of all the challenges you've already faced. Times when you felt lost, certain you wouldn't recover. And yet here you are. Breathing. Living. Carrying on. You found a way forward then, even if it was messy and slow. You will find a way again. There is quiet strength in that truth. Even if the future is unclear, you can trust your own capacity to adapt, to heal, to keep going. You have already proven this many times over, simply by being here. Trusting the unknown also means allowing space for possibility. Because if you try to plan every step, to lock down every outcome, you leave no room for the unexpected joys, the delightful surprises, the people you haven't met yet, the experiences you couldn't have imagined. Some of the best things in your life likely arrived unannounced, outside any careful blueprint you drew. A chance encounter that grew into a precious friendship. A sudden insight that changed your path. A moment of beauty that stopped you in your tracks. When you release the tight grip of needing to know, you make room for life to astonish you. This is part of why your 1 hour each day matters so deeply. It's a time to reconnect with the present, to find steadiness inside yourself so you don't have to grasp so tightly at what's ahead. It reminds you that even in uncertainty, you can still create small pockets of peace. Try this simple practice during your hour. Sit quietly and place a hand on your chest. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. With each inhale, say silently, I welcome what is unfolding. With each exhale, whisper, I trust myself to handle what comes. Notice how your body responds. Maybe your shoulders soften, your belly loosens, your jaw unclenches. It doesn't remove all fear, but it does remind you that you are here, grounded in this moment, which is the only place life ever truly happens. You can also remind yourself that not knowing is not the same as being unsafe. Your mind might try to fill in the blanks with worst-case scenarios, but most of those stories never come true. You are allowed to meet the mystery with a little curiosity instead of only dread. What if the unknown is not solely a source of danger, but also of miracles? What if it holds moments of love, of laughter, of gentle relief you cannot yet foresee? Tonight, as you prepare to sleep, reflect on all the ways life has surprised you, the small joys that appeared without warning, the new paths that opened when others closed. Let this be proof that the unknown does not have to be your enemy. It can also be your ally. Whisper softly to yourself, I don't have to see the whole road to take the next step. I trust that I am being gently guided, even when I cannot yet see where. Feel how that trust, even if it's just a tiny seed right now, eases something inside you. Let it grow there. Let it remind you that part of winning each day is not by conquering uncertainty, but by learning to walk alongside it with a little more grace. Because life will always hold mysteries. But within you is a quiet wisdom, a gentle resilience, a tender courage that will help you meet whatever comes. So rest now. Trust that the unknown is not empty, it is simply unwritten. And tomorrow, you will keep writing your story, one small, brave word at a time. Chapter 15, Loving the Journey, Not Just the Destination. So much of our lives is spent waiting for some future point to arrive. We think, when I finally achieve this, when I finally become that, then I'll feel happy, whole, at peace. We keep our eyes fixed on distant milestones, believing the journey is just a necessary burden we must endure to get there. But what if the journey itself is where the richest part of living unfolds? What if every step along the way, even the ones that feel slow, awkward, or confusing, holds something precious that you would miss if you were only focused on the end? It's natural to have goals. Dreams give our lives color and momentum. But if we place all our joy in reaching them, we risk missing the quiet beauty woven throughout the path. Because most of life actually happens between the big moments. In the ordinary days, the small choices, the subtle shifts. Think of how a flower grows. The blooming is breathtaking, yes. But it's only possible because of countless invisible days where roots deepened in the dark, stems stretched imperceptibly, leaves unfurled one by one. The glory of the blossom depends entirely on the humble patience of the becoming. Your life is much the same. Each small act of care, each gentle choice to keep going, each tender moment of self-forgiveness is part of your unfolding. It matters. It's building something within you even if you can't see the full shape of it yet. Sometimes, if you pause long enough, you might even discover that these quiet, unremarkable days hold a sweetness all their own. The way morning light spills across your floor. The way laughter suddenly bubbles up during an ordinary conversation. The comfort of your favorite meal, made with simple hands. These are not detours on the way to your real life. They are your real life. They are the subtle treasures that make your days worth living, even if no grand achievement ever arrives. Loving the journey also means allowing yourself to be a work in progress. Too often we delay tenderness for ourselves until we've arrived at a better body, a perfect career, a flawless state of mind. But you deserve love and gentleness right here, in the messy middle. Your daily hour is a chance to practice this. It's not merely a means to an end, not just a tool to force faster results. It is a sacred pause to savor who you are becoming along the way. To check in with your heart. To notice how far you've come, not just how far you still wish to go. Because the truth is, by the time you reach many of your destinations, you'll already be dreaming of new ones. That's the nature of being human. So if you withhold joy until you get there, you may spend your entire life waiting for happiness that never quite lands. What if, instead, you made it your quiet mission to find reasons to be content today? To celebrate the little victories, that you got out of bed when it was hard, that you spoke kindly to yourself when old harsh voices rose up, that you paused to watch the sun dip below the horizon. This does not mean giving up ambition or becoming stagnant. It simply means refusing to postpone your peace. It means living with the calm confidence that you can hold both dreams for tomorrow and gratitude for today. It's a tender balancing act. Some days you'll tip toward longing. Other days toward contentment. That's okay. Just keep gently guiding yourself back to the understanding that this exact moment is part of the treasure. Tonight, as you prepare to drift into sleep, place a hand on your chest. Feel its gentle rise and fall. Whisper to yourself, I am proud of the journey I am on. I choose to find joy in these small, quiet steps. I am allowed to love my life even before it is everything I imagine. Let those words settle deep. Let them loosen the tight places inside you that believe happiness must be earned or delayed. Trust that each breath you take, each soft decision to honor yourself, is part of a beautiful becoming. And know this, someday, you may look back on this season with tender eyes. You'll remember how hard you tried, how patiently you grew, how you learned to treat yourself with more compassion. You might even realize that these days, imperfect, unfinished, still reaching, were more precious than you could see at the time. So rest now. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be. Let tomorrow bring what it will, knowing that you will meet it with the same quiet grace that has carried you this far. Because the real gift is not just arriving at your destination. It is discovering who you are along the way, and learning to love that person fully, gently, wholeheartedly, every step of this tender, remarkable journey. Chapter 16, Making Peace with Imperfection. Perfection is a heavy burden to carry. It tells you that unless everything is flawless, unless your body looks a certain way, unless your mind is always strong, unless your life unfolds exactly according to plan, you're somehow falling short. But perfection is an illusion. It's a moving target that shifts every time you think you're close. And chasing it only keeps you anxious, exhausted, and forever feeling not quite enough. What if instead of striving for perfection, you gently opened your hands and let it go? What if you made peace with the soft truth that being human means being gloriously, beautifully imperfect? Making peace with imperfection doesn't mean giving up on growth. It means giving up on the punishment that comes from expecting yourself to be flawless. It means accepting that mistakes are not failures of your worth, but simply part of learning. That your scars are not blemishes to hide, but quiet testaments to your resilience. Think for a moment about nature. A forest is not perfect. Some trees are crooked, some leaves bear holes from hungry insects, some branches break and twist. Yet together they create a breathtaking landscape, precisely because of their wild, unpolished diversity. Imagine if you could see yourself that way, as a living, growing, evolving being, worthy not despite your imperfections, but partly because of them. Because they tell the story of who you are and how far you've come. Your daily hour is a space to practice this gentle acceptance. When you sit quietly, or reflect, or simply breathe, notice what thoughts arise. Often, you'll hear the old voices, "I should be better by now. I shouldn't feel this way. I need to fix myself first." Instead of arguing with those voices, try meeting them with a soft curiosity. Ask, what if it's okay to be exactly as I am right now? What if my struggles don't disqualify me from love or peace? You might be surprised how your body responds. How your shoulders drop a little. How your breath deepens. How something inside loosens its grip. Because most of your pain doesn't come from simply having imperfections, it comes from judging them so harshly. From believing they make you less deserving. When you set down that judgment, you create space for real healing. This gentle approach also changes how you relate to others. When you stop demanding perfection from yourself, you stop demanding it from the people around you. You allow them their humanness, too. You love them not because they never disappoint you, but because your hearts understand each other's fragile edges. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, reflect on the parts of yourself you've most struggled to accept. Maybe it's your tendency to worry. Maybe it's how sensitive you are, or how quickly you tire. Maybe it's something from your past that still stings. Place a hand over your heart and whisper, "Even this is part of me. Even this is worthy of compassion." Feel how that shifts something deep inside. How it invites you to soften toward yourself, to be a little more forgiving. Because the truth is, you are not meant to be a perfect masterpiece. You are more like a mosaic made up of shining pieces and cracked fragments, joys and sorrows, triumphs and missteps, all fitting together into something utterly unique. Something no one else could ever replicate. And there is so much quiet power in embracing that. In saying, "I am whole," not because I am flawless, but because I hold all these pieces with tenderness. So tomorrow, in your hour set aside to win your day, practice this gentle permission. When you catch yourself spiraling into self-criticism, pause. Place a comforting hand somewhere on your body, your chest, your shoulder, your cheek, and say, "It's okay to be human. I am still learning. I am still growing." And that is enough. Over time, this soft approach changes you far more deeply than harsh perfectionism ever could. Because self-compassion doesn't weaken your resolve, it fortifies it. When you feel safe with yourself, you become more willing to try, to risk, to step forward even if you might stumble. This is how you build a life that feels spacious and kind. Not by erasing all your flaws, but by welcoming them with love. So rest now. Trust that you do not need to be perfect to be deeply, truly worthy of peace. You only need to keep showing up, imperfect, tender, real. Because in the end, it's your honest humanity that makes you beautiful. Your willingness to stand here, cracked and luminous all at once, saying, "This is me." And that is more than enough. Chapter 17, Cultivating Inner Joy. There is a gentle kind of joy that does not depend on circumstances. It is not the loud, glittering happiness of winning awards or reaching some great milestone. It is a quieter light, like a candle glowing steadily in a dark room. A joy that rises from deep within, not from what happens around you. Many people spend their whole lives chasing joy in the external world. They pin it to achievements, relationships, status, or possessions. And for a while, these things might bring excitement. But that kind of joy is fleeting, it comes and goes with life's unpredictable tides. True inner joy is different. It's rooted in your ability to be present, to savor small wonders, to feel alive even without grand reasons. It is knowing that peace can live in your heart regardless of whether everything in your life is perfectly aligned. So how do you begin to cultivate this quiet joy? It starts with noticing. Pausing long enough to let small moments sink in. The way sunlight dances on your wall in the morning. The warm comfort of holding a mug in your hands. The tender way your chest rises and falls as you breathe. These are tiny miracles, often overlooked because they seem so ordinary. But joy lives in these ordinary places. It hides in plain sight, waiting for you to slow down and pay attention. Your daily hour is a beautiful practice ground for this. Each day, as you take that time for yourself, let it become more than just a task. Make it a gentle exploration of what lights you up inside. Notice how it feels to move without rushing, to breathe without chasing thoughts, to be still without demanding answers. You might try keeping a simple joy list. Each evening, write down 3 small things from your day that brought a flicker of gladness. Maybe it was the scent of rain on warm pavement, or a soft laugh you shared with someone, or the satisfaction of crossing a tiny thing off your list. At first, this might feel silly or forced. But over time, your mind learns to look for these moments automatically. It becomes wired to notice beauty, even in imperfect days. And slowly, this becomes a quiet wellspring inside you, a place you can return to, again and again, no matter what life looks like on the surface. Inner joy also grows when you release the idea that you must earn it. You don't have to be completely healed, wildly successful, or endlessly productive to deserve joy. You are allowed to feel moments of lightness right here, in your unfinished, beautifully human state. Sometimes the world teaches us that happiness is a reward, something granted only after we've fixed all our flaws or reached a certain standard. But life is too short and precious to wait. You are allowed to touch joy today, even in the middle of your mess. Especially in the middle of it. This does not mean ignoring pain or pretending everything is fine when it isn't. It means holding both truths at once, that life can be hard and tender and unfair, and still, moments of sweetness break through. It means smiling at a child's giggle even when your heart is heavy. Letting your shoulders relax into warm water even when worries swirl in your mind. Feeling a spark of awe at the night sky, despite everything unresolved. This is not denial. It is resilience. It is your soul's way of refusing to be entirely drowned by difficulty. It is choosing to let beauty coexist with struggle. Tonight, before you sleep, take a moment to place a gentle hand over your heart. Close your eyes and breathe slowly. Whisper to yourself, there is still room for joy here. Even now. Let yourself recall one small, good thing from today. It does not have to be dramatic. Maybe your tea was exactly the right temperature. Maybe a stranger smiled at you. Maybe you simply made it through the day, and that is enough. Feel how this tiny moment brightens something inside you. Like a soft lamp in a dark room. This is your inner joy, humble, quiet, steadfast. And trust that the more you honor it, the more it grows. Not into constant giddy happiness, but into a gentle, enduring warmth that can accompany you through all of life's seasons. So rest now. Trust that you don't have to wait for everything to be perfect before you can let joy in. It is here already, woven through the fabric of your everyday moments, waiting for your tender attention. And tomorrow, in your hour dedicated to winning your day, let part of your victory simply be this: noticing one small thing that makes your heart sigh with quiet delight. That is more than enough. That is a life well lived. Chapter 18, Trusting the Small Steps. It's natural to want big, sweeping change. To dream of waking up one morning and finding all your struggles dissolved, your fears quieted, your confidence soaring, your life neatly aligned. But more often than not, transformation does not arrive in grand, cinematic moments. It unfolds slowly, like dawn easing across the sky. It comes through countless small steps, taken over and over, even when they don't seem to be adding up to much. Trusting these small steps might be one of the hardest lessons of all. Because they feel so quiet, so modest. Your mind might whisper, this tiny effort can't possibly matter. You're hardly making progress at all. But look closer. Every small choice is a seed. A soft but powerful vote for the person you are becoming. Each gentle decision to care for yourself, each minute you spend reflecting or resting, each time you choose patience over frustration, it all counts. Small steps are not insignificant. They are, in fact, the only way lasting change ever truly happens. Think of a musician learning a new piece. Their first attempts are clumsy, awkward. They stumble over notes, lose the rhythm. But each small practice session builds something unseen. Muscles learn, ears tune, fingers remember. One day, almost without realizing, they find the melody flowing effortlessly. Or imagine a garden. No single watering or day of sunshine brings it to full bloom. It's the accumulation of dozens of small acts: tending, feeding, waiting. And suddenly, the garden is lush and vibrant. But the magic was never sudden. It was stitched together by countless humble moments of care. Your life works the same way. Your hour each day might feel small against the scale of your hopes. Maybe you think, what difference can an hour make in the face of everything I want to heal or create? But that hour is a sacred container. It's a promise to yourself that you matter. It's how your heart and mind slowly learn new patterns of peace, new ways of seeing the world, new kinds of gentleness. Each time you show up for it, you deepen trust in yourself that you will keep choosing your well-being again and again. And trust is everything. Because when you trust your own small steps, you don't panic when results aren't immediate. You understand that meaningful change grows quietly beneath the surface before it ever shows above ground. You start to see progress differently. It's not just the dramatic milestones: losing all the weight, paying off all the debt, writing the entire book. It's each small act that keeps you moving. Each healthy meal, each careful budget choice, each page written. Progress becomes less about reaching a far-off destination and more about honoring the daily journey. And that is a far more peaceful, sustainable way to live. Tonight, as you prepare to sleep, reflect on the small steps you've taken lately. Maybe it's the way you've tried to speak more kindly to yourself. The moments you chose rest over mindless scrolling. The time you paused to breathe instead of snapping in anger. These might seem minor. But they are not. They are threads in the tapestry of a gentler, truer life. Place a hand on your chest now. Feel its quiet rising and falling. Whisper softly, "I trust the power of my small steps. I trust that I am growing, even when I cannot yet see it." Let that truth sink into your bones. Because real change rarely announces itself with fanfare. More often, it arrives softly. You notice one day that your shoulders are less tense, your thoughts less sharp with self-criticism, your mornings easier to face. This is the gift of trusting small steps. You allow life to unfold at its own wise pace, without forcing, without despairing. You build a sturdy foundation under your dreams, one tender choice at a time. So rest now. Trust that tomorrow, you will take more small steps. And that each one, no matter how simple, is a quiet revolution, shaping you into someone more compassionate, more resilient, more beautifully alive. Because in the end, it's not the big, sudden changes that matter most. It's these humble moments of choosing yourself, day after day. That is how you truly, deeply win each day, one small, loving step at a time. Chapter 19, Becoming Your Own Safe Place. So many of us move through life looking for safety outside ourselves. We hope other people will steady us, that their love, their approval, their presence will quiet our storms. Or we chase circumstances that seem to promise security, the perfect job, the perfect body, the perfect home. And while these things can bring comfort, they are never guaranteed. People are beautifully human and sometimes imperfect. Circumstances shift in ways we cannot predict. If our sense of peace depends entirely on the outside world, it remains fragile, always at risk of being pulled from under us. That's why one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself is learning how to become your own safe place. To build a refuge within that you can return to no matter what life looks like on the outside. Being your own safe place doesn't mean you never need others. Humans are meant to lean on each other, to love and be loved. But it means your core sense of steadiness doesn't vanish the moment someone disappoints you or plans fall apart. Because within you, there is an anchoring, a gentle, quiet space that belongs entirely to you. How do you start building this sanctuary inside? It begins with learning how to meet your own thoughts and feelings with compassion instead of judgment. When old fears surface, or when sadness weighs heavy, try not to push them away or scold yourself for feeling them. Sit quietly and say, "I see you. It's okay that you're here. I'm still safe." Imagine you are holding a frightened child close. You wouldn't shout at them to stop crying. You'd wrap your arms around them, stroke their back, whisper soft reassurances. You can learn to offer the same tenderness to the vulnerable places inside you. Your daily hour is a perfect space to practice this. Each day, as you set aside time just for you, you are telling yourself, I am worthy of care. I matter enough to be gently tended. Over time, this builds trust within. Your heart learns that you will not abandon it, even when it's hurting. Being your own safe place also means creating inner rituals that calm and ground you. Maybe it's a deep breathing practice, a few quiet stretches, journaling your swirling thoughts so they no longer crowd your chest. These small acts send a powerful message to your nervous system: you are cared for. You are held. It's equally important to watch how you speak to yourself. Notice if your inner voice is harsh, always finding fault. Gently, patiently, begin to shift it. You might place a hand on your heart and say, I'm doing my best. I am allowed to be imperfect. I choose to be kind to myself here. At first, this may feel awkward or hollow, especially if you're used to being your own harshest critic. But keep at it. Consistency will teach your mind a new language of gentleness. Because when you make a habit of showing up for yourself this way, with compassion, softness, and steady presence, you start to feel less desperate for external reassurance. You know that even when others misunderstand you, even when life gets messy, there is a calm center inside that you can return to. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, imagine this safe place within you. Picture it however feels comforting. Maybe it's a warm, candlelit room. Maybe it's a peaceful meadow under soft twilight. Maybe it's simply the quiet space behind your closed eyelids. Breathe slowly and whisper to yourself, I am safe within myself. I am here for me. I will not abandon my heart. Feel how that changes the landscape inside you. How your shoulders loosen, how your breath flows a little easier. This is the beginning of deep, inner security, a place no circumstance or person can take away. Because life will always have uncertainties. People may come and go. Dreams may change shape. But the sanctuary you build inside stays with you. It grows stronger each time you practice returning to it. Each time you offer yourself a gentle word instead of a sharp one. Each time you choose to breathe through discomfort rather than flee from it. And little by little, you realize you are never truly alone. Because you have become your own companion. Your own safe haven. Your own quiet shelter in every storm. So rest now. Trust that tomorrow, your hour will be another soft brick in the foundation of this sanctuary you're building. And know that within you is a refuge, tender, unwavering, always waiting to welcome you home. Chapter 20, Letting Life Be Simple. Sometimes we make life so complicated. We pile on expectations, measure ourselves against impossible standards, chase countless goals all at once, each promising some elusive sense of enough. But what if it could be simpler? What if you could give yourself permission to live a quieter, slower, more present life? One not cluttered by endless striving, but shaped by small, meaningful moments that nourish your soul. Because deep down, most of what truly matters is beautifully simple. The sound of laughter shared with someone you love. The steady rhythm of your breath when you're finally still. The way sunlight spills across your floor in the late afternoon. A soft bed waiting to gather you at night. These are not grand achievements. They are humble joys. And yet they hold more genuine peace than all the frantic chasing ever could. Your daily hour is an invitation to return to this simplicity. To step out of the constant swirl of doing and achieving, and remember that being, simply being, is enough. Try noticing what happens when you allow yourself to slow down. When you savor your tea instead of gulping it between tasks. When you listen to music with your full attention, letting it wash through you. When you watch the way tree branches sway against the sky, without hurrying on to the next obligation. This is not laziness. It's a profound way of reconnecting with life itself. Because so often, our greatest source of restlessness is forgetting how to simply be here, in this moment, without judgment or rush. There is a line from a poet that says, "There is another world, but it is in this one." You don't need to escape your life to find peace. You simply need to notice it, hidden within your ordinary days. Letting life be simple also means releasing the need to constantly fix or improve yourself. Growth is beautiful, yes, but it does not have to be driven by harshness. You can become more while still loving exactly who you are right now. So much of your suffering comes from believing you must always be more productive, more disciplined, more enlightened, more impressive. But what if you are already allowed to rest? What if your worth does not require constant upgrades? Imagine how different your days might feel if you woke up and whispered, "Today, it is enough to simply be me." This doesn't mean you abandon your dreams or stop striving for better. It means you place them in gentler hands. You pursue them with curiosity, not desperation. With openness, not pressure. And in the spaces between your efforts, you allow yourself to breathe, to laugh, to savor small pleasures without guilt. Tonight, as you prepare to sleep, take a slow breath and ask yourself, where can I let life be simpler? What heavy expectations could I set down, just for now? How might I open my hands and trust that what is here is enough? Feel how your body responds. Maybe there's a small sigh, a loosening in your chest. That is relief. That is your spirit recognizing a softer way. Because in the end, life is not meant to be a relentless climb. It is meant to be lived tenderly, presently, with room for awe. It is meant to be touched through simple joys, a kind word, a shared smile, the quiet pride of having made it through another day. So tomorrow, in your hour devoted to winning your day, try letting simplicity guide you. Perhaps you simply sit by a window, watching the world move. Or take a slow walk, noticing colors and shapes. Or close your eyes and let gratitude swell for no particular reason at all. These moments may seem small, but they are profound. Because when you allow life to be simpler, you discover a peace that is no longer dependent on everything going right. You find joy woven into the very fabric of your ordinary hours. So rest now. Trust that you are already enough. That your life, in its humble details, holds more quiet magic than any frantic chasing ever could. And know that by choosing simplicity, you are creating a spacious, gentle life one tender hour at a time. Welcome to your peaceful space. If this audiobook helped you feel a little lighter or more grounded today, please share your thoughts below. What part touched you the most? Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Together, we're learning to win our days, one gentle hour at a time. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you never miss a moment of calm and growth. And if you feel moved, please like and share this with someone who might need it. Thank you for being here. Take care of your beautiful self.